Do you know one of the most highlighted quotes on Kindle is this? And if you're someone who is searching for some stability in life, right? If you're someone who has asked yourself questions like how to find yourself again, how to accept who I am, how to reinvent myself, maybe you're having a career change identity crisis after maybe a job loss or a pivot or a layoff, right? If you're someone who is wondering how do I stop comparing myself to others, self-acceptance and happiness is something that you think about a lot. How to be content with my life choices. Why am I not happy with my success? What does owning my story mean? If any of these have kind of crossed your mind, I want to offer this quote to you that I just came across. It's from Cutting for Stone, which is apparently written by an Ethiopian born Indian American medical doctor, Abraham Verghese, maybe. It's about twin brothers. Now I haven't read the book yet, but I am going to read it. But this quote stood out to me. Let me read it to you. The key to your happiness is to own your slippers. Own who you are, own how you look, own your family, own the talents that you have, and own the ones you don't. If you keep saying your slippers aren't yours, then you'll die searching. You'll die bitter, always feeling you were promised more. Not only our actions, but also our omissions become our destiny. That hits me, and it's a quote that I found it, so I was just Googling like most quotable things. What are people highlighting? If you've watched any of my videos from any platform, you've read any of my things, whether it's TikTok, LinkedIn, Threads, YouTube, my Substack, it is what I've continually said. I'm all about career pivoting. I'm all about really figuring out what you want in your life and then going after it. Career pivot, self-acceptance, agency. What if the reason you feel stuck isn't because you're lost, but because you haven't owned what's already yours? And it reminds me of this whole idea that people usually chase what isn't working for them. So people always trying to improve, people always trying to be better. And one of the biggest cheat codes in life is that you figure out what you're actually good at, you own your truth, and you move forward with that. And you become better at what you're good at. That is the way to go, right? So like this is the one of the most highlighted quotes on Kindle because clearly it hits a nerve. So why does this hit home so much, right? We often reject our own slippers, the things that actually define us, because they don't look shiny enough. They're not sexy enough. Like in Ghana, we call it chaliwate, and I'm not currently wearing chaliwate. Our slippers are who we are. They carry us. They're with us in our most solo moments, in our growth moments, and in our home. They keep us from touching the ground. They keep us elevated, but yet we are so quick to throw them out, right? And why is that? We do not own who we are. For example, I work a lot with career pivoters, and people always want to career pivot, but they feel like they have to start over. Why are you starting over? You already have so much knowledge, so much skill set, right? Or people are waiting for the next perfect move. There's never going to be a perfect move, right? And I realized that I have a background in social work. That's what my degree is in. And I adore my social work degree. But I felt a little bit of, I don't know if it's resentment, but I went straight from undergrad to grad. I did a 5-year program, which was really great for my wallet and other stuff. But I was a bit disappointed because I realized that a lot of my friends were in consulting, and I really wanted to be a consultant because it just sounded cool to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not in a Big Four, I'm not at Deloitte, I'm not at EY, I'm not at McKinsey. And it took me until maybe last year to realize that all my jobs have been consulting jobs. Like I work in the professional services division of tech. And literally consulting is called professional services. And it is such a pity that I wasted so many years being like, oh, how come I'm not this, I'm not that? People think that you have to have a certain title in order to be living your dream. And actually it's the work that matters. It's the work that matters. If the answer is yes, then that's it. And that actually might be your differentiator. Not only our actions, but also our omissions become our destiny. When you don't apply for things, when you stop yourself, when you keep waiting, when you don't update your LinkedIn, when you don't put yourself out there, when you're not visible, when you don't pitch yourself, when you don't sell your stuff, when you do not do the work to understand your value. And a lot of people come to me asking if I do resume writes, and my answer is always no, because I'm not going to fix your resume for you. What I need you to understand, what I really, really need you to understand is how to pitch yourself. I need you to understand your value, because once you understand how to pitch yourself, you understand your value, you understand your impact, you will always be employed. And that resume is just going to be a checkbox for HR, for the people team. One of my jobs that I got, I met with the VP, I met with all this stuff, I met with the CEO, and then they were like, yeah, you got the job. Make sure you just send your resume to the HR, Evan, I think his name was, and he'll put you through. The resume was the last thing they looked at when I reached out to them, when I told them about my story. And that is what I work with clients on in my accelerator program, because it's always about your story. But we spend so much time not applying, not putting ourselves out there, not like omitting. In the quote, it says, not only our actions, but also our omissions become our destiny. If you do not put yourself out there, if you do not allow yourself to be seen, to be visible, if your only actions are curating your resume, but not putting yourself out there, then your destiny becomes one of those people who's writing about how you applied for so many jobs and you still haven't been hired, how you've been unemployed for X number of years, how you're miserable in your job. That becomes your destiny. And I rebuke that for you, actually. I rebuke that for you. I do. So I want you to own your slippers. If you need help owning your slippers, I'm more than happy to help you. Jesus washed feet for a reason. I'm more than happy to help you do that and put on your slippers and be proud of it. Own your story. Design your next steps. Walk in faith intentionally. So if you don't know what your slippers are in your life, please reach out. You don't need a new life. You need to stop running from the ones that's already built the foundation of your next chapter. You need to put on the shoes that you have. You need to own your slippers. Really and truly. People crave success, but they're terrified of self-acceptance. The minute you accept yourself, your shadow self, your bright self, every single part of you, even if that version does not look like someone in the highlights reels on Instagram or whatever, the minute you accept the whole self, you will actually exceed every single thing you've ever imagined for yourself. Every dream you've had, you will meet it and surpass. And that is how I've lived out my life, and it's worked out for me. That's what I support my clients living out as well. So come join me. If this hits a nerve, let me know in the chats if this hits a nerve. So I want you to really and truly think about your slippers. And have you been denying your slippers, whether that's skills, quirk, past experiences? And how do those connect to the next chapter? That's what I want for you.